All right, so in this training, we're going to talk about the difference between lead form ads, messenger ads, and landing page ads. All right, so you need to understand the difference because they do have some nuances. Some are a little bit more difficult to deploy than others, and certain industries actually benefit more from one type than another type. So I just want to go over what they are, then I'll actually walk you through how to set up each one. All right, so let's first start off with the three different types. So the lead form ads. These are ads that are essentially where you're on the platform, you get some information, it's super simple to set up. However, one of the problems is you'll often get a lot of leads, but the quality is not that great. So this is best for like simple offers where you're going to like give a discount, like maybe a 10% off coupon or maybe a free consult. It's definitely a great way to get started for most people. But if you're going to run these types of ads, I do recommend that you follow up immediately, like within 5 minutes. If you don't follow up immediately, you're pretty much burning your money on fire. And one thing that you need to understand is that if you do not have a good qualification sequence built in, oftentimes the leads that you do get may not be that great. So I do recommend having one open-ended question in there, maybe a multiple choice question in there as well. And then reaching out as soon as possible. If you're not going to reach out to these people, don't even run these types of ads, right? So that is rule number one. Follow up fast or do not bother. So the second version is messenger ad campaign. So this is an ad where essentially someone reaches out to you and it starts a conversation. Cool thing about this is that it can feel personal. It can feel like you're interacting with someone, you're getting a lot of information, they're able to ask questions. It's great for pre-qualifying people to make sure that they're their ideal prospect for you. And it has the ability to be integrated with AI where you can actually have the AI appointment setters book the appointments for you. So this is how we build campaigns for a lot of our clients. We kind of combined a combination of the messenger ad campaigns with the lead form ads. And I'll show you exactly how to set that up. And then the last version, there's the landing page ads. So this is where you're driving traffic directly to a landing page. A landing page is essentially like a funnel, a website, and I'll show you how all these things look, so don't worry. And this is the most sophisticated funnel. It's the easiest to scale the highest because now you can run traffic from any different place, anywhere on the internet, and you're not just relegated to one platform. However, it is the hardest to build out at the beginning because you have to make sure you have really good landing pages, testimonials. You need to be able to set up your tracking all the right way and all this other stuff. So what I recommend is typically start off with lead forms because if your lead forms are doing well, it shows you that your ads are performing well. If your lead forms are doing terrible, your ad's terrible. And it doesn't matter if you create a landing page is not going to make that better. All right. So start off with lead forms and then you can scale up to having landing page ads. All right. So let me show you what each one looks like and how to set it up. So when you come into the platform and you hit create under the campaign level, you're going to have a couple of different options. It's going to say leads, engagement, traffic, awareness, app promotion. Okay. So what you want to do for pretty much all of these is hit leads, hit continue. And then from there, you want to name your ad set. So how you name this does matter. So for instance, say this is an April special, but we're in June. So let's do June specials. I might name it that. And then from here, you can either set the campaign budget or the ad set budget. I like to set the budget at the ad set level. And then you can create a split test. That's not always necessary. So for right now, let's not do anything super advanced. So don't split test anything. Just go to the next section. And then here, since we're doing lead form ads, you want to name your lead form. And this is the ad set level. So you're going to say, where are you targeting? So in this case, it might be broad targeting. So that means I'm not going to put anything to target any more specifically. I'm just going to let the ads do their job. And then I have instant forms. So instant form, this is essentially a lead form. And then you want to make sure the performance goal is maximize number of conversion leads. And then you want to set your daily budget. That's where you can set at the ad set level. You can come down here to the audience and you'll notice Advantage Plus audience is on. To take that, I like to take off these Advantage Plus things. They say it's going to help your ads. For me, it never does, so I don't have those on. So I come in here. First off, I want to choose English. All the English people. And then, let's see. I want to switch the setup. Okay, so now I want to change this age group to the age group that's going to work for me. And then if you wanted to add existing audiences, you can do that there. But at the beginning, I'd say just create it super broad. And then here, where the advanced placements is, I would take this off. Take off the audience network. It's not very good. And then I would open this up and I would take off search results, take off in-stream ads, and I would just have stories and reels, Instagram stories, Facebook stories, Instagram profile reels. I've never seen anything do well on that. Okay, so Instagram reels and Facebook reels right there. And then the feed, Facebook profile feed, Instagram feed, Facebook Marketplace, and Facebook video feeds is fine. Instagram Explore. So sometimes the Explore does well, but not really. So then take off that. All right. So now what you could do when you're just getting started, if you don't know what to choose on those things, you could just let it choose for you. And then later on, you can look at the data and you can see where it's performing the best. All right. So those are the settings that I would want to have set up. If you had some sort of saved audience, you can come in here, you can select that. We're not doing any of that right now. If you had a location, for instance, if you're a local business, you might say you're in Houston. You say Houston, Texas, and then you could now have a radius of wherever you say, maybe it's 15 miles or whatever. You have a radius where it's targeting, so that way you're not just like blowing ads with people in like Montana and you live in Houston, right? So that's important to do as well. And then once you've done that, you can go to the next level where you name your ads. So depending on what your ads are, so if it's a static image for this offer, we could say for medical professionals. That's what I would target. And then you can do single image or video. I typically unclick multi-advertiser ads. I have my lead form set up here. So the way that looks is when you create it, you say, name it test lead form. You want to choose for more volume. Then you go to the next part, you say, thanks for your interest in our amazing offer. Don't worry, there's going to be templates in the group on how to actually build these. All right, and then you can say, get 10% off our amazing thing. Okay, and then this is where you can add questions. So you can either have multiple choice or a short answer. I typically recommend one. What is the biggest problem trying to solve? So that way there's a free response, because the problem with these lead form ads is a lot of times these are auto-populated, like their email, their full name, their phone number is auto-populated, so it can be outdated information, and these leads are not typically the greatest. So you want to make sure you have something to pre-qualify them a little bit better, so that way you're getting better quality leads. Okay, so then you have that, and then you just hit save draft, and then you get out of here. Okay, so now your draft is saved over here. And then you can also make sure you're adding your images. So here's the media. You hit edit media. You could choose pictures, you could choose videos. So in this case, I'll just choose a video. And here's where you add your primary text. Headline. The primary text is actually the bulk of the text. And this would be something simple in terms of like, big news, we got an offer you won't want to miss, limited time only, act fast, whatever. And so let me actually give you a real ad copy so that way you know where to put there. So what we'll do is we'll duplicate this. So an example would be, this is the primary text. So let's pull this up here, put this over here. So it would say MedSpa and clinic owners will double your booked appointments in 30 days or less. How? AI sorcery, just kidding, but almost. Here's the real magic. Conversational AI appointment setters say goodbye to ghosted leads. Our AI follows up instantly, nurtures conversation. So this is essentially saying what your offer is, and it's a good way for people that actually like to read to understand what you're trying to do. So you read through the whole thing, and then you're going to get to the bottom and say click below to get started, and that's where that is. So when they click on this, you can have learn more, sign up, whatever you want to have it there. You can also change this to say something that's a little bit more specific. So I would say get more patients. And there's also going to be all these little AI versions as well that you can split test with to give you a couple more variations. You could switch this to learn more. Typically learn more does the best. So just have it at that. and then you're pretty much good to go in terms of launching this lead form ad. All right, so in the next video, what I'll do is I'll walk through how to set up a messenger ad campaign. It's gonna be very similar to this. We're just gonna make a couple small tweaks. So see you in the next video.